Hi there. We're back about triangles. Actually, we're starting triangles. So we're going to do the sum of the angles of a triangle. It's called triangle sum theorem. Did you know that if you add up all the angles of any triangle, they all equal the same number? Let's just assume you did not know that, and that's no big deal. So here we have a triangle. We have angle A, B, and C. I'm just writing on there so when I cut this thing up that you'll be able to see where they are. I just picked random letters. Okay, so what happens, I will take this and I will tear the angles. So here's angle A, angle B, and angle C. So if I put all the angles together, literally, I'm going to put them together, and we're not looking at the crazy part out to the outside. We're only looking at these angles. If we put them all together, it creates a straight line. And so, does anybody know the degrees of a straight line? The degrees of a straight line is 180 degrees. Because, I mean, kind of imagine, you know what a 90-degree angle looks like, right? So there's a 90-degree angle, and there's a 90-degree angle, and together it makes 180 degrees. So no matter how big or how small the triangle is, all of the degrees, all the measurements inside equal 180. So as you know, angles are measured in degrees. They're kind of like inches for a rainbow, right? So we're measuring. We can measure it here, it's still 120. We can measure it here, it's still 120. We can measure it here, it's still 120. Because what it's doing is it's measuring the distance between here and there. Okay, so this is 120. And this one over here is 34. And the little degree symbol looks like a little circle. And we don't know what angle C is. So if we put these two together and take them away from 180, we should get this angle right here. Or we could start with 180 and take away each angle individually. Either way. So these two together equal 154. Okay, so if we take that away from 180, because that's the complete total, then we end up with 26 degrees. Now, it's always handy to make sure that you did your math right. So 26, 4 more makes 30, 30 is 60, and 120. So we're good to go. So, all right, I'll do this one the other way where I subtract both times. So I've got two angles and I don't know the third. So if I start with 180, I'm going to take away 60, that's that one. And I take away 40, and that's that one. And I'm left with 80 degrees. So you can kind of decide which way is easiest for you. Okay. Now I have two angles here, but I don't know the third. Even though I don't have a visual, I can add them up. So I know they all have to add up to 180. So 83 and 52 together make 135. So what do I have to add to it to get 180? I have to add something to get 180, right? So 180 minus 135 is 45 degrees. Now let's make sure all this adds up. 5 and 10 is 0, 5, 13, 5, 180. Perfect. Always check your math because you might be one off somewhere. All right. Now, back in 5th grade, you learned what isosceles and scalene and right triangles, all those are. So if you have an isosceles triangle, that means, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it. Isosceles triangle means that these two angles are the same. So we have a question mark here and a question mark here. Okay, I know they all add up to 180. So let's take away the top angle first. So I get 140. And I have to split that evenly between these two. So if I split it evenly between two angles, I get 70 degrees here and 70 degrees here. Isn't that cool? Okay, here's another isosceles. We know that this is down here is 75 degrees. I know it's hard to see. And then over here is 75 degrees because it's isosceles, right? So now we can find that one up there. So 180. Well, let's put 75 and 75 together real quick. That's 150. So these two together equal 150. And we're going to take away from the total and get 30 degrees. So this one up here would be 30 degrees. Okay, so here's a right triangle. We know this top one's 55 because it told us. What is this one? Well, that's a right angle, so it's 90. So now we can find the one here. So let's put those two together and take them away from 180. 35 degrees. Okay. Ooh, this one with these little lines, it says it's equilateral. Every single angle is exactly the same. And we don't know what any of them are. But if they're all three exactly the same, could we take 180 and divide it into three parts, three equal parts? So that leaves us 60 degrees. So all equilateral triangles have a 60, 60, 60. No matter how little, no matter how big. Ooh, now for the challenge. Okay. So we know 77. We don't know this one, and we don't know this one. This one is a question mark too. Now out here is 124. We don't need that. But we don't have enough information to solve for two questions. So let's see if we can solve this one first. Remember way back at the beginning of this video, we said that a straight line is 180 degrees. Could we use that to find this little part here? We sure could. So we got 180 minus 124, and that gives us 56. So this angle right here is 56 degrees. Now we have two of the three angles. Okay, so we have 77 and 56, those two right there, and that equals 133. Now we can take that away from 180 to get that top number. $47 degrees. Now, if we are correct, they should all add up to 180. So 47, 77, and 56. 14, 20. That's a good sign. 6, 13. There we go. They do add up to 180, so we are correct. Pretty cool. If you have any questions, ask your teacher.